Welcome to week 17 of the From the Ground Up Challenge. We are trying to reseed the infrastructure of the food industry across the UK, pushing for food security, profitability, sustainability, all of the abilities within small and medium-sized farms, trying to make it easier for people who want to buy local, in-season, sustainable food, and the people trying to sell it to work together. Also allow small farmers to work in collaboration in cooperatives and achieve the efficiencies of e-commerce across the board within the farming sector. To do that, I'm running 3 different projects at the moment, try and learn as much as I can. The first one is a small farm here in Essex, working with a small herd of Australian lowline cattle, which are miniature Aberdeen Angus, and a small flock of chickens as well. Trying to understand what it's like to try and sell this produce on a local level, what's needed, what's missing, what works, what doesn't work. I've set myself up for a little bit for failure with that, trying to do too much at once, but I'll get into that as we go. Second one is social media. Develop a presence on social media, whether that's YouTube, TikTok, or the like, and trying to get people, like-minded people, into one place such that we can then push the product forwards. And the third project is that product itself, a product called Yosis, which is a platform designed to decentralize production and centralised supply, make it easier for small farmers to produce and sell their goods, and make it easier for people who want to buy those goods to buy it from centralised locations, and also allow people outside of the sector completely to be able to support the sector by either building up marketplaces, supporting delivery, or just generally managing marketing, and trying to dilute the vast array of skill sets that a farmer has to cover before they can actually sell their products, whether that's from project management, product management, marketing, finance, customer outreach. It's all in there. So that Yosis exists to try and demystify that. And we're just launching at the moment as we speak. So let's start with the farm. A lot of this week has been taken up with fencing. Like I say, my neighbours are redoing this post and rail fencing. There's a kilometre of it, which I take my hat off to them to committing to do, and they've been very accommodating in increasing the grazing area in doing so. At the same time, understandably, they were also focused on the aesthetics of the whole thing. So trying to find a middle ground on land that isn't ours, at the same time trying to accommodate the cattle as much as we possibly can at this point. I've been playing around on a telehandler this week, which has been great fun, clearing up the old posts and moving the new posts and rails around. I'm not actually meant to be building it at the moment, but the contractor is in Brazil at the moment, and so I'm just helping him out. And also we've been refencing the stock fencing whilst we're doing it as well. Managed to put a foot through my nail. I managed to put a nail through my foot yesterday in my Wellington. First thought was, oh no, my welly's got a hole in it now. Second thought was, my welly feels squelchy, and I wish I had videoed it when I emptied my boot out, because I've never seen so much blood. I literally poured out of my welly when I turned it upside down. But actually leaving it in my welly, because I needed to finish the job, leaving it in my welly and in my sock allowed it to seal off. So all was quite good. Probably lucky I didn't video it, because it probably would get taken down. I tell you what, I am pleased that I am not dating at the moment, because literally all I talk about is grass and cattle and grass and the drought that we're in and no rain and grass and cattle and bare earth and seeds and grass and cattle and chickens and more chickens and grass and cattle and fertiliser and nitrogen locking. All these things is all I talk about, and I don't think I would be very good at dating right now. I was actually at a village event this afternoon, and I'm boosting myself to video this video, because I came back realising I just completely forgotten how to talk to people, and I put my foot in it multiple times. There's a chap there who was really interested in starting a village farm shop, literally my perfect clientele, and I started telling him why he didn't want a physical shop because of the overheads, rather than being like positive and jumping into things. He's got great ideas, and rather than swinging with them, I was telling him why you should just do delivery boxes, which I've been reflecting on recently, that delivery boxes and meal boxes are literally the answer to sustainable food. He didn't need to hear that. He needed to be heard and supported on his idea. So I've been beating myself up with that, because I've just completely forgotten how to talk to people. It's been a long time. I'm just so tired at the moment, which doesn't help things. But now is the next chapter, And I knew the sales part is always going to be my challenge. Like I'm quite in the weeds. I like working with a team and getting and fixing stuff and doing all that sort of stuff. In my previous company, I was very much on the front line with that sort of thing and actually building stuff and getting stuff done whilst other people sold the product. So I need to either find people to sell the product, find a way to sell the product, or improve my speaking skills. Which I'll get better at talking to you guys, but people in front of me, in my face, I just blabber on about the most random shit. Stephen and Weberg have kicked off things over there. They're starting building chicken houses and chicken hoops. Selfishly, very selfishly, I am really enjoying having Stephen be in a similar position to me, which is have a load of real physical projects as well as digital and a load of like creative stuff and going on in your head and trying to manage it all. There's just not many people in my life that sort of understand what it ends up doing. And there's a few of us in Discord, for example, who are going through similar things in the farming sector. So it's really nice to share that experience, because I kind of just end up beating myself up when I'm on my own. I'm like, this is really hard, but why am I not just doing better? And so it's nice to have people to share that experience with and be like, maybe it's not just me. Maybe I'm actually doing quite well. We're coming up to my 2-year anniversary of leaving my previous job. I think it's the 10th of May. I'll have the platform live for it, which is a relief. Part of me is like, oh God, it's taken 2 years to get here. Part of me is like, wow, you got here in 2 years. It depends how much sleep I've had as to which part of me takes the driving seat. So I'm hoping the content will improve as my time frees up, but at the same time, my time's not going to free up until I get someone in to manage the farm. To get someone in to manage the farm, I need the farm to make money. So that is just something that I don't think the content's going to improve immediately. We'll get on to the content stuff in a second. But sticking on the farm for a second before we move on to social media, main challenge is eggs and selling eggs. I just haven't been able to sell eggs. I've been more focused on trying to figure out the cattle and get the grazing, sort this field out. Keep the chickens alive. We lost another 2 chickens yesterday, completely randomly in L2, and they'd been pet to death, which is just brutal, and I don't know why it happened, and I haven't had it since they've gone outside. And I don't know why that happened today. I think one of them was trying to lay an egg and either prolapsed or ruptured or something, and then they started bleeding from the back end, and the rest turned up. But yeah, that stuff always beats you, and it normally happens when you're down. But overall, chicken's doing okay. I've got loads of chicks which need to get outside, and so I'm behind in like moving everyone through the houses. Dad slowed down with the building of the big house. It looks phenomenal. He just needs to finish it. I need to help him finish it, but I haven't got enough time, energy, or headspace to help him right now. So we need to get that over the line together, and then we can get L2 into there, and then we can get the chicks into L2, and just generally push some chicks through. We're going to have so many. I've got 400 eggs in the incubator. I've got 200 chicks in that stable. So I imagine I'm going to have 400 chicks, probably. I'd like to have 500 chicks so I don't have to do another batch of hens, but we shall see. Even that's not going to be enough. I need 600 chicks. I need 600 chicks so I get 300 hens so I can fill that new house. But at the same time, we've got too many chicks. Did I mention that we've not had any rain and there's no grass? Frustratingly, we have enough land, we have enough grazing to be able to accommodate all the cattle we have. However, if it doesn't rain and the seed doesn't take and we can't grow any grass and we don't have enough land, and so we're currently looking down the barrel of having to cull some of these cattle or sell some of these cattle to be able to reduce the herd size. And if I reduce the herd size, then there's no point in keeping any of the cattle because we're at a size that it's just not going to ever make enough money. So yeah, I'm just playing on hard mode at the moment, and then what I'm learning is this farming is always played on hard mode. And no wonder we have such trouble with farming. Right, positivity going into TikTok. So, Come Collect Eggs with Me still in full flight. I posted my Come Collect Eggs with Me on YouTube to 41 views. In general, across the board, views are dropped on YouTube and TikTok. So I'm not going to worry about it. Like we say, worst comes to worst, this is just documenting where I'm at the moment. Yourselves that are watching this are interested and understand the journey already, and I think probably a bit invested. Trying to win we're doing it this way, it's just not going to work. So I apologise. Oh, this is my new landing page if anyone's interested. We'll come back to that. This doesn't really work at the moment. I need to figure out what words to put on it. I'm also working on a logo which I have made, and I'm pleased to say this isn't AI. I have got AI to ask. I've been asking AI where to put it and whether we need to host it on AWS or we hard code it, but What do we think? It looks quite nice there. As a favicon, it doesn't look so good as a favicon. I don't really know where to go with it, to be honest with you. But I am liking this sort of thing, quite clean. But as a favicon, I don't know, it doesn't look as good. Anyway, right, go to social media. I'll come back to that in a second. So Come Collect Eggs with Me is back in full flight. I feel like I started this section 20 minutes ago. And yeah, the views in general are just meh. Which isn't the end of the world. Engagement is good enough for me. I still have a load of comments every day to reply to, and people buying on the shop. People are still buying on the shop, and actually we're actually selling quite a lot in there. And this is my point. Social media does not need to have hundreds of thousands of views to make more money. I have made this much money is how much I make in a month on like really good going views, and so having said this is through selling corn tax, through selling. There's been a couple of people who have incredibly generously sponsored chickens, and that was £60 a piece. So they're incredibly kind of them all, and that's 200 quid into my pocket, which I wouldn't have had before. And this is the stuff that I need to remind myself. What I was doing was making enough money off of the rewards from TikTok, but that just for whatever reason has changed, and that's no longer the case. So that's £3.75 for the last 7 days. So that is till last Sunday. When we're recording this on Sunday. So that is literally for the 5 videos I put out, it's £3.75. Right, so we go to posts. These are the pinned posts. So we go down to last week. So that we started on... Actually, we've only done 4 videos, to be fair, because I didn't do Mondays. I've recorded today's. I've tried to put some enthusiasm on it, but it was difficult because I wasn't feeling it today. Anyway, 8,000 views, 6,000, 4,000, 5,000, 7,500. So what is that? That would have told us in the previous one. So it's that 34,000 views for the last 7 days, which isn't bad going at all, and not to be sniffed at. But more importantly for me, loads of comments still. I'd like to get to triple figures most times, but actually on like the day-to-day sort of videos, that's quite an ask. The last time we got into triple figures was on release day, and also when I came back from being away for ages. So I'm not too worried. The first week did all right. That was on the lead up to lockdown, and then since then, anything. I'm pretty happy and content with anything over 10,000. But to be honest with you, as I just said, it's all about engagement. If I got people joining the Discord, if I get people following on YouTube, subscribing. If I get people subscribing on YouTube, or if I get people buying on the shop, that's way more important and valuable to me than arbitrary views on TikTok. Same with the followers, although I am steadily losing followers. If we go to analytics, we go to followers. Yeah, net 19 followers. So I think people are just a bit bored of Come Collect Eggs with me, to be honest with you. And I realise I've stopped doing like the weekly roundups, and I think they did quite well. I'm trying to figure. There must be a way of it's just been so stagnant for the last 12 months because I have not done anything new and not really pushed. As we discussed here before, TikTok is the funnel to YouTube, and then YouTube is the funnel to Yosis. TikTok's the funnel to Yosis as well. All of it is a funnel to Yosis. It's a funnel to us working together to build a food sector that works. Although we have popped up to 1.4 million views. Ooh, yes. And 389 shares, which is bonkers. Like 389 people have gone through and clicked, I want to share this video, and they've shared it, either reposted it or they've sent it to somebody. That's nuts, isn't it? Nuts. To YouTube. What are we on for subscribers in YouTube? How do I even... Analytics? Overview. Yep. 31 new subscribers. I think we're on 1,062 subscribers on YouTube, which these are the numbers I care about. I don't know why. I'm a YouTube boy at heart, and I always have been. And it's way more valuable for me to have these 1,000 subscribers, these 969 views, than whatever 1,000 views on TikTok. Because I do believe that YouTube is a lot more pull. Like everyone that's watching this now, you've come to this video, you're sitting here and you're still watching because you're interested, and you will be the one that I get to work with in the future and get to interact with. Finally, let's take you to Yosis. I'm now live on production and on staging. I've got dummy order confirmations. Look at this. This is on MailHog, which is just like basically simulates emails, allows you to send emails to various places. So we've got things like daily packing lists. So what that is if you're a producer and you're in a load of marketplaces, or you've got a shop or whatever, it sends you this packing list so that you don't have to go through your shop, look through line by line. It just says, right, you need 10 packs of eggs, 3 packs of tomatoes, and 2 hog roasts. And then so I've got things like collections. I've got a freaking QR code. Check out that bad boy. And this has actually been a request from Stephen and Weiberg. They're going to be doing a lot of collection. In fact, almost unanimously, I think their first start will be just collection. So these will be, what this does is this takes you to the order collection page. I doubt it does, because I don't think the servers are running. Literally every demo I run, by the way, looks like that. Bam, broken. It's because I keep trying to do shit that I shouldn't do, like freaking go back here. What else we got? Order confirmation anywhere? Order confirmation, order confirmation, order confirmation, order confirmation. Order confirmation. Order confirmation needs to improve because it doesn't show the products. It shouldn't really show the amount, it should show the products. Something I need to fix. But so this comes out of the box for Yosis, and like this is what's really cool. And you can also customize all these as notifications on the platform. You can decide what gets sent. So nothing Shopify doesn't do, but hopefully a lot cheaper than Shopify, and way more targeted and way more customized for producers and anyone in the farming sector. This does have a invoice somewhere. Let's open up that invoice. And then, so this is for more like wholesale. Can I get this over here? Can I take this over there? Yeah, so this is just a dummy invoice. On that, I'm going to be setting up a demo, maybe next week, week after. It's going to be on Zoom, Teams, whichever the general consensus is easiest. And I'm going to just jump on there. It's not going to be like a formal demo. It's more going to be like a show and tell, allow people to look through the system. I'm going to hand out logins, and then allow people to ask questions as they do it. And more importantly, work with people that are producers, are just interested, give me feedback on it. Really keen to get in as many hands as possible. I'm also going to be running quite an aggressive referral scheme. The point being, it's going to be long-served referrals. I'm not going to give money on sign-up. I'm going to be giving money. I'm going to be sharing revenue with referrals, and also discounting those when they're referred, etc., etc., etc. But the goal being, I don't need to build a sales team. I can make it worth people's time to sell the product for them. Obviously a dangerous game because I need to make money as well, but I think it's the power of social media and the power of people being invested for all the right reasons means that I think that'll be a better way of doing it. I've rambled on. This video on my iPhone is probably about 25 minutes long. I've got to edit this down to at least 15 minutes. If it's beyond 15 minutes, I do apologise. If not, I might have just left it because this might be interesting. If you're still watching, I truly appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're going to get this done. I'm going to get some sleep, and then it's not all doom and gloom. And then I'm going to remember how to talk to people. Then I am going to make sure this platform works. Then I'll make sure I'm going to continue searching through any security weaknesses. And then I'm going to do some more sleeping. And then I'm going to hope for rain. Apparently it's raining tomorrow. Did I mention that I think about rain and grass a lot? And cows and chickens? Let's get it done. I'll see you on the next one.